this seemed cool and I bought a ticket. So we'll introduce ourselves to start with. I'm Hayden. This is Desney.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say your own name, that's fine.
And then we've got Evelyn, who's one of our other directors as well.
Yep, so the three of us are the directors. So essentially with this town hall, it'll be a way for us to basically go through some of the basic information and explain stuff that we feel like players should know. We'll also have like a bit of a break, and then we'll go through some frequently asked questions. So we had some questions that were like pre-asked through a form, but also if anyone here has questions, you can ask those as well.
Especially if they develop throughout this little information session, then please feel free to make a mental note and then ask them when we have question time.
And at the end we'll sort of have like a quiz that'll run a bit like a pub trivia where it's everyone's in teams. It'll be fun. And you'll be going over the stuff that we talked about. I don't know how it's right in the works, so we're splitting the train time people, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Okay, so the other introduction that we wanted to do was introducing the family heads to everyone. So just in case anyone is unaware, we also have heads of the family. So when you bought your ticket and you chose a family, you'll have a family head who's worked sort of in and out of character, like a good point of contact if you can't get in touch with one of us for any reason, or if you've got a question that like you're like, I don't need to ask that of the directors. So for the Eaglebees, we have Emma, who's not here, and Catherine Irving.
Oh, she's actually Emma's
Oh.
here.
10 minutes late.
So we have the family.
Yes, Emma and Catherine are our Eaglebee heads. For the Fairmeadows, we have Mary and Amos. For the Tallows, we have Cal and Mernon. Yeah. And for the Bluffwaters, we have Pip and Jess. So the family heads, great point of contact if you have any questions or anything like that. But otherwise, yeah, you can also speak to us. So I think we'll start with going through the pre-event expectations.
Yeah, so obviously, including this town hall here, we have those workshops that we run throughout the year, every month leading up to the event. Those are so that you can sort of get to grips with what you might be doing at the event, and sort of get on the same page as to the feel and vibes of the event, and also to like socialize with each other and meet each other more and more, so that when you get to the actual main event, that it doesn't feel like you don't know anyone because you've met a lot of people before. Does that make sense? It's just to make you a little bit more comfortable and acclimatized to everyone, and also so that you can directly interface with us, so that you don't feel like we're just some big shady organization that you never really talk to in particular. But we want to be able to interact with you and make this thing together, so it is important that we meet with you frequently so that we continue to like upkeep our I don't know, our like social muscle with each other. And then to that, we also have family groups on Facebook pages, and I know that Facebook these days, especially if you're not a millennial, it is increasingly not something that everyone's a part of, but we have a centralized hub for all of your families for a reason. It's a good place to ask for ideas, to collaborate with your family members, especially because each family usually has their own activity or something that they want to do together at the event, and it's a good space to just go in there, soundboard some ideas. If you're working on something and you want to show someone, please go to your family groups and post as much as you would like to. If you have any questions, like where can I find this particular pattern, where can I find this particular ingredient for food, or something like that, please feel free to ask your family members, and especially if you, our family heads will be organising out-of-character social interactions as well, so things like crafting days, or if you just even want to go to the pub for a beer together, like it's a really sort of smaller social space that you can kind of like more easily socialize with everyone, rather than just the entirety of all 135 players.
Yeah. So yeah, we highly recommend joining your family group if you haven't already. Also go through the dates of the workshops as well. You've got the, so beyond this, there's the improv and character workshop, there's the costume workshop, there's the dance workshop, so we'll give you the dates of those.
So, we are now in May, the 30th is today. So the next workshop is the 20th of June, which is the character improv workshop. That's where we'll kind of, if you've never been to LARP before, or even if you've never been to this particular LARP before, we will sort of do some warm-up stuff with you in terms of like getting to feel strange with each other, because we like to break the ice with everyone, get feeling silly out of the way, and then we're like, we're all silly, it doesn't matter. And then that's also where we can sort of either connect you to other family members in character, or we can help you to develop more of your character as well. And then we have July, the costume and set workshop, where we will go through basic things like costume design, what makes part of your Hobbit costumes, ideas for how to make those things, resources like patterns, some tutorials and things like that, and just some basic things to like help you to, or help inform you to make a more balanced Hobbit outfit that feels a little bit more layered, feels a little bit more textured, and feels much more in-world, rather than just slapping together something that you bought from True of Life. Which, no shade, but you can up the stakes for yourself, and it feels nice to put a little bit more effort in. Does that make sense? Beautiful. So, then we have a break in August, because everyone will be away.
Sorry.
And then it gives us a little bit of a break. But then we have our September family picnic. So all of our families will be able to get together in a centralized space, and we'll just have a little picnic together, have a little nice day out with each other, and just hang out. October, we have our dance workshop, which is probably one of our most popular workshops because it's the most fun, to be honest. We do a lot of Kaylee dances, we teach you the steps, we go through the music. Our illustrious Kenyon Lawson, you know him, you love him, he's our dance caller. He'll be there to be able to take us through those Kaylee dances as well. If you don't make the dance workshop, however, we do have the dance workshops at the start of the Friday workshops as well. So
Yeah.
you'll get a chance to practice those steps if you miss that particular one. And also we'll have a dance caller on the night anyway, so don't fret.
Yeah.
But it's just fun, so you should make it. And then of course our next event is the event, which is November the 20th to the 22nd, which is the Hobbits Hoedown itself.
Yeah.
That's all.
So in terms of the other stuff is, we want to encourage people to engage with the event materials. So this is stuff like checking your emails. We email people a lot. Obviously it can be hard to like look at all your emails, but just check your emails periodically to see if you've got one from us. We have a website. You can use the website. A lot of the times when people ask questions, the information will be on the website already. So the website is hobbitshoedown.com.
Yeah.
So it's just the name of the event.com.
Please use
There's
it.
a full event page. Much of it, of the information that people do ask us, like when are all the things, where's the calendar, it's actually on the event page. We also have like fantastic things like creating a character, so tips for creating your characters and the kind of traits that each family has. Obviously we'll go into more of how you inject those traits into your character at the character workshop. And then it also has information like your monthly family heads and what they look like and who they are, so that if you completely forget today who those people are from today, don't worry, you can always go and look at the website. If we haven't explicitly said it in any of the announcements, it's like maybe it's on the website, and if it's not, then you can ask us.
Yeah. Also, just with our email, just because sometimes the emails can get filtered by, like if we're sending out a mass email, it might be worth marking us as a contact if you get an email from us. If you're a ticket holder, we'll be using the email that you provide provided on your ticket to email you, which means if someone else bought your ticket and gave their email, it might be worth just checking with them. Also, we have the socials, so the Instagram, the Facebook, we also have a TikTok, so you can follow those for information. Most of our announcements will go out through the Instagram and the Facebook, but anything we post to those, there'll usually be a companion email for like an informational post. So if we're posting something to the Facebook especially, there will be a companion email with that sort of like same information. So make sure you're checking your emails. And yeah, in addition to that, the website also has pages for resources and stuff like that. And is there also a post history on the website, or is that?
There's a contact form.
Yeah. Just because I think the website's undergoing a shift in like the next.
I'm doing it right now. There will be a new website, so.
But the same URL, so still Hobbits Hoedown. And we'll also, so we mentioned before the family groups, we also encourage you to engage with your family. So in terms of, you know, obviously just getting to know the people that will be in your family ahead of the event, like it's a good way to be like, oh, you know, maybe me and this other person are like cousins and stuff like that. They're also just a good source of advice or inspiration, or, you know, if you find something in an op shop and you're like, hey, I found this waistcoat, would this work? And your family group can be a good place to sort of like get an answer to that. A couple of years ago in the Higgledy group, someone was like, I don't know what LARP is. And then we were just able to answer the question. They were like, oh, sick, and that was fine, right? What is a LARP? Yeah. I don't to be in the latest section, but we can go through that now. Yeah.
Who here hasn't laughed before? Can you put up your hands? Fabulous. Great. Thank you for coming and making your week. Who here has been to the Hobbits Hoedown before? Who here is it's their first Hobbits Hoedown? Okay, great. So, now, with LARP. LARP stands for Live Action Roleplay. We're all across that? Great. So, LARP, the term LARP is kind of like the term music. There is a whole smattering of genre in terms of music. You can have rock and roll, rap, R&B, etc. The same thing with LARP. There are different types of LARPs that you can go to. Ours is kind of considered a cozy LARP or a parlor LARP. A parlor LARP is generally in a room and there's no kind of combat with each other, and the structures are more social. So for our game in particular, we're a much more social game. All of our mechanics are based around social interaction with each other. And that's why we encourage you to, and hassle you almost, to go and talk to your family members, because we want you to engage with those people so that when you get to the event, you feel comfortable engaging with people you know and people you don't know. To that end, there's also things like Swordcraft, which is a battle game. We've also got things like Dragon Fest, which is another battle game. What else do we have around here? We've got Lost at
Enclave.
Midnight's in Melbourne.
Sorry?
Midnight's in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a handful of vampire LARPs.
Yes. So there's a whole smattering of all these different types of LARPs that are experiential, that are geared towards you having a in-character experience with yourself and with other people through your character. And it's a good way to sort of experiment with a persona of yourself that maybe is not you, but is maybe adjacent to you. And it helps you to explore the feelings about yourself, about other people, and how you position yourself in the world and in your own state of mind, I suppose. So with the Hobbits Hoedown, we are pretty low trauma in terms of how intense some other LARPs can get, especially something like a vampire LARP. We are mostly focused on how do you make other people feel? How is your experience affecting other people? Can you make it a joyous experience, and can we do that all together gracefully? So that's something that you should have in your mind when you're playing, is I'm part of a scene, but also other people are part of the scene. Can I invite them into the scene with me to experience it with all of us? And that makes it a much more peaceful experience for everyone.
Yeah, and just from that standpoint, LARPing is something every human being has done as a child. When you just pretend to be a thing for a few hours, except now you're doing it over a weekend because you don't have a child's ability to, suspend your disbelief. You're wearing a costume to help keep you in that headspace, because we lose that ability around the age of 12, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Alright. So, the expectations. So the expectations we have of people at the event. So the first of those we have, so those were the things we went through were the pre-event expectations of like here's the workshops, etc. So the stuff for at the event, first and most important, have read the event info pack. So there'll be an event info pack that you get a couple of weeks beforehand. Read that. You can also print it out or download a copy and put that copy on your phone.
It'll have important things like the safety and emergency protocols, or how to arrive at the event.
Yeah.
We literally give infographics of what the gate looks like, the roads leading up to it, and then like your pathway through it, especially because there's people who are camping and there are people who have cabins. The procedures for you signing in are there for everyone's safety, because there will be vehicles on site and you don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do read them. We give very comprehensive information about all that stuff, and we got a lot of emails asking about all of the stuff that we put in the information packs.
Yes.
And it should be said, sometimes at other events you'll have like, here's how to get there. And you're like, this has no correlation to any map on the planet. This is not true for this. The map is exceptionally accurate. The details are important to read. It has everything you want.
Yes.
And don't trust Google Maps for this particular site.
No.
I have been through that site multiple times following Google Maps, and it takes me to the wrong entrance.
Yeah.
Follow what the guide
Yeah, there's an
says.
instruction. We also have the map on it. There'll also be the event schedule on it. This is the one for 2025, but so we've also got the emergency procedures, information about like the cabins and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll receive that info pack. It's got the information about signing in, the accommodations, the safety info, and yeah, if you're able to either bring a soft copy with you as like a PDF on your phone, or if you like we had players printed out last year and bring it with them. We did have a handful of copies at the gate as well for people who hadn't checked it, but we're really trying to stress that you will get an info pack, so it's good, it's helpful. Next.
Yeah, okay. So you should have your costume and your props, obviously. And that means that you should
Bring the things that you'll want and need.
yeah, so if you're going to play, like if you want to play a board game in particular with some of the people that you'll meet at the Hoedown, bring it along, feel free to. We have a lot of equipment that we provide, and there's obviously an entire list of activities that we'll have you do, but there's a lot of downtime where we allow you to sort of go and do whatever you want. And that could be finding a nice tree to sleep under. It could be seeing if you can't source some snacks.
Yeah.
It could be a little scavenger hunt that someone has
Someone.
expertly made for everyone. You can go search for real acorn.
Yeah, someone brought in a scavenger hunt last year.
And there's also a post house. So maybe you want to send some letters to fellow hobbits to invite them to the dance later on Saturday. So there's plenty of things to do, or plenty of things to not do. Sleeping being one of them, I suppose.
Yeah. And you can bring trinkets and stuff to trade as well. People love doing that. Your showcase entries. So we've got a craft showcase and a food showcase. So if you want to bring that. And your outfit. The last for a couple of years, it's been hot on one day and real wet the other day. So having a range of gear to cover those bases.
Yeah.
This year there is a devastating El Nino forecast, so hopefully it's not wet. We'll find out. Devastating El Nino notwithstanding to its other consequences.
To that end, it's a good idea to then bring something like a big old sun hat, a parasol if you have one. You can decorate it and everything so it matches your character. What else? We do have ample shade around the area, whether it's natural shade under a big old tree, or we have lots of shade cloths. I'm sure if you've seen the photos, you would have seen some of what our set dressing looks like. But we also encourage people to do the big old slip-slop slap, because it can be a very bright and sunny weekend, and then you're out for so many hours and you haven't realised that you have gone tomato red.
Yeah, the sun will laserize you.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is there is a packing list that it's up on the sort of website and on the Facebook page, but we repost it every year a couple of weeks beforehand. So there's also a packing list of here's the stuff you'll need, including crockery, sunscreen, toiletries, bedding, etc. Desiree mentioned them earlier, but there's also workshops at the event itself. So just before Game In on the Friday, we'll have an improv workshop followed by a dance workshop. So the improv workshop we have in June, there'll also be a version of that at the event on the Friday night. Additionally, similar with the dance workshop that we have in October, we'll have a dance workshop on the Friday night. So
it's just a little bit shorter than what you would normally get at the events that we have leading up to. But it helps everyone to sort of warm up again to, feel silly with each other so that we've already gotten that out of the way so that you can go after that and get ready for the dinner, because we do have dinner on the Friday night.
Yeah. And the other thing, so just to, is to reiterate that, so look at your emails, look at the website, and the info pack that we will send. Those things, very important. And the other thing we just really want to drive home as our at-event expectations, this isn't Lord of the Rings. It's not set in Lord of the Rings. It's
you
not
mentioned Lord of the Rings, there will be a sniper that comes.
It's not.
And it's not us, it's Lord of
Warner Brother is watching out and
Yes.
he's angry.
If anyone mentions the Shire, what's that? Where's that?
Yeah, we're in a different local government area. It's called the county. Keep in mind your LGA terms.
Yes.
Now that is break.
Oh, I was going to mention the player resources.
Oh yes, let's do that.
So, part of the website, which you definitely should go and see, is that we have so many resources. We have things like YouTube playlists for setting guides. You've got some songbooks here where we've had some previous music from the previous years put up there as well. We have role-play resources like putting on accents, because each different family has their own accent. We also have things like ears and prosthetics. We have our own discount code from Belly Pay. So you should get a hold of that. There's also things like accessories where you can get them, tutorials for things like model caps, suspenders, braces, fishes, neckerchiefs, chemises, petticoats and bloomers, undershirts and base shirts. We have top layers, dresses, vests, waistcoats, and bottom layers. We have so many resources on this particular page which will link you directly to either a pattern that you can purchase for yourself or an online tutorial that someone has gracefully made for other people to access. We've collated it all on this page, and many a time when someone has asked for, where can I get this thing? It's on the website. So obviously if you're looking for something a little bit more bespoke, again you can go to your family heads or your family members and just field questions of like, where can I maybe get something like this? Does anyone know where I could get, I don't know, a smocking machine? Or I don't know, someone might have seen one. Does anyone know some basic embroidery? Could they sit down with me and teach me how to do some just basic embroidery so I can maybe embroider my collar or embroider a bit on my apron or something like that, just to give your costume a little bit of a personal touch.
Yeah, or to find out what the maximum threshold of an insane task you give yourself is, so that you can know whether or not it's like unhinged to attempt it before the event. Because, maybe someone has done something that crazy. You won't know unless you ask. Alright, I think at that we'll leave it for a short break of about 5 to 10 minutes.
Because you have been talking at you for a really long time. So,
alright, so we are going to go over some of the FAQ sort of stuff now. So we've got a couple of frequently asked questions on our site, so we'll go through those.
yes. So, should I go through some of the responses?
Do you want to go through the ones we pre-wrote and then go through those?
Yeah.
Alright, so the first of our pre-written ones, so is this Lord of the Rings? No. That's the question. Yes.
We still make some references though. Boil and bashing.
No,
Yeah,
true.
but that is like an out of character getting everyone So, instead of doing the old teacher clap move, we yelled out, boil and mash it.
Take a minute, sir! That's how we get your attention.
Yes.
Now, the second question, does this world have law? Yes. We, as I mentioned before, the local government area in our university, so we have the county map on it. The county includes the Bluffwater Homestead, Moswick, the Tallow Homestead, Oakenborough, the Fairmeadow Homestead, Blossombrook, and the Heagleby Homestead, Bark Hollow, and the County Moot, where it all happens at the Hoedown, or where the Hoedown all happens, at the County Moot. And broadly speaking, the conceit of this event is that so every year 4 lively Hobbit families reunite at the County Moot, the junction where the 4 family local government areas meet during the transition from spring to summer. This has been a long-loved tradition for generations as they celebrate the turning of the seasons, the health of family and friends, the glory of bragging rights for their family, and all-round showcasing the best of all Hobbitses. It started as a lovely outing between friends and grew to include more family and friends until it was simply too large to be so infrequent in planning. Another problem was too many Hobbits felt snubbed if they simply weren't thought of upon invitation. Well, that sorted it. It'd have to happen so that everyone would receive an invite with not too little notice. Since then, the families have become, rivalries aside, fast friends. Follow all their quirky traditions, play good-natured pranks with friends, play party games in the tournament, partake in baking, brewing and crafting showcases, and enjoy leisure time by playing music, napping outdoors, or taking tea. Now, on that as well, so one of the other things I'll cover briefly is, I mentioned the show and tell, I mentioned the craft showcase, I mentioned the food showcases, etc. These are all sort of separate things. So, the food showcase, this is essentially morning tea and afternoon tea. I actually think it's morning tea on the Saturday and morning tea on the Sunday. So, the food showcases are where if you have made a food that you want to bring to the event, you make your food, and then there are essentially food showcase forms where you basically fill out what the name of the dish is, who is the person that made it, and then what the ingredients are so that we can manage the dietaries. And then when you bring it to the event, we'll take the food showcase form from you, and then depending on how it needs to be stored, we will sometimes take it from you on our side if it needs to be stored in a particular way, or we'll get you to handle that because sometimes people bring things that need to be like baked beforehand, and that responsibility falls upon you. The craft showcase is similar, but obviously there's no dietary requirements of the craft, you're just looking at it. So that'll still have a craft showcase form, and we'll still have the entries and stuff like that. And with each of those, there are sort of judges who go through, and it's sort of like a CWA, like Country Women's Association competition, where you've got judges going through to like check it and look at it, but each family will sort of provide judges and there'll be ribbons. The show and tell is basically a show and tell, or like you doing a sketch or a song with a limit of 90 seconds. So basically it sort of works like a karaoke sign-up sheet where each person just signs themselves up and we call them out in order, and you have 90 seconds to do whatever it is. If it ends up being less than 90 seconds, that's fine. If it ends up being more than 90 seconds, we will ding the bell.
Politely.
Yeah. It's just so that we can make sure everyone who wants to have a go gets a go.
Yes.
Because we want to make sure that everyone has their chance to show and or tell. And so that one.
What kind of things can we do at the show and tell?
So at the show and tell, we've had things including reveal of giant vegetable to conceal another reveal of a second giant vegetable. We've had
A visit from Santel.
a visit from Santel, bringer of literacy. We have had people singing songs that they've written. We've had people singing, sort of like it was a combined entry of like 5 people put themselves together back to back because they had, without the directors realizing, taught like 26 people the lyrics to this song, and so they got like a quarter of the audience up to sing. It was very cute. It was very cute.
People will sometimes also just bring things that they've crafted that they want to tell people about, so they'll show everyone the thing that they've made and then talk about how they made it, how long it took for them to make it, and the story behind why they've made it. So
Yeah.
Grumpy Pickle.
yes, pickle was one of them.
So that,
As you might guess, a grumpy looking pickle.
But
it-
felt it.
But felt it. It had a butt and everything.
Yeah.
it had little booty cheeks. And so there's a whole variety of things that you can bring to do with the show and tell. You can even tell a story that you've made up. You can do a puppet show. We've had that before as well. If you are going to involve members of the audience, that's a really cool way to get other people involved. It's also, I don't know, fun to watch other people sort of be like, I don't know what I'm doing, and then it becomes, I don't know, funny for everyone. So.
Yeah. But with that, so the sign-up sheet is available basically for the event, and no, it's fine. And it continues to be available right up until because then we take the sign-up sheet form so we can read it out. So essentially, you can yes.
Is there an age limit for that?
No. Anyone of any age, because it's like, again, it's 90 seconds of just sort of loose time. So we do have kids come up and then they're like, oh, I don't know what I committed myself to. And that rules. Everyone loves it.
Yeah. And everyone's pretty encouraging, so don't feel like if you're going to get in front of everyone, that you're going to be judged. Everyone gives a bit of a cheer and a polite card.
Yeah.
So
It's also notably not a competition.
Yes. So, and that's the thing. So, unlike where the showcases are more structured and there are ribbons that can be won, etc., the show and tell is like we're just there because we want people to have a good time and to show what they're keen on, and we love it.
yeah, I will note as well for the showcase, the baking showcases, that we not only have ribbons for each of the families to give out, but we also have the dietary requirement ribbons. So we like it when people do cater to all of our friends in a friendly manner, whether it's a gluten-free, nut-free, egg-free, what have you, FODMAP-free, what have you. We give out ribbons to reward people who have made the effort to make something that everyone can partake in.
Yeah. Now the next Q on the FAQ is, do I have to do an accent? So, interesting answer to this question. You're already doing an accent right now. This is a Melbourneian accent I'm speaking in. Distinctly sound Victorian. So everyone is doing an accent all the time. We do encourage you to do the accent because even if it's bad, that's fine.
It also provides like a layer so that if you are, I don't know, for example, we allow cheating. And when I say cheating, what I mean is that you have to do cheating in a way that everyone can see very obviously that you are cheating. But it is for the scene. And so that it becomes for everyone to be involved in. Cheating is not something that is done so that you can disenfranchise other people, so that you can then win over other people. It's something that is done in a slapstick way.
It's a performance for the benefit of others as opposed to a choice you're making to help yourself get an advantage.
Yeah, but putting on an accent just gives a layer so that we recognise that you are playing and you are only playing, and that everyone else around you is only just playing as well.
And the other thing is as well is the only real way to get good at an accent is to do it because it's about the musculature of your mouth, like you're holding your mouth in a particular shape. So you can't get better at an accent without doing it, which is why we like, just give it a go. Because even if it's bad, you'll get better by doing it. Because
a good way to practice is if you go to your crafting little events with your families is to practice the accent together, because then you're all speaking the same accent and you have a chance to get a foothold in your accent before you are exposed to everyone, and we're all sliding puppies on an ice rink just trying to keep our accent.
As a human being, you'll naturally sort of migrate towards the accents around you. So if everyone's doing it, sort of you end up with like a British melange, it's fine.
Yeah.
Now, so the next question I have is, what should I bring? Essentially, this relates back to the packing list that we mentioned earlier. So in terms of the things that you should bring, there is a packing list, and that will get posted prior to the event, but even before then, there is a version of it that's available on the Facebook page and the website. Essentially, like the broad strokes are like, generally it's good to bring cutlery and crockery. You will need bedding for the like cabins and stuff, and like obviously you'll need your costume and stuff like that. The other thing that ties into that is the next FAQ question, which is shoes. Yes, wear shoes at the event. We live in Australia. This is the land of brown snakes. All right, you want shoes. You will be wearing shoes. It doesn't matter if there's a film property or a book property where short people don't wear shoes. They don't live in a world with brown snakes. We do. So wear shoes.
And there's lizards about sometimes. Because we are out in the semi-wilderness, there will be big old lizards and goannas and things like that. Yeah, exactly.
We are at the same venue as also.
Yes.
Yes. It's also quite hilly in certain areas, so good supportive shoes is good.
Yeah.
Having extra pairs of socks is also a good move. It will help if you get any hot spots on your shoes and if you have a spare pair of boots that you can bring along, because sometimes you get friction in your boots. You can change them over so that maybe it's not rubbing on the same spot. Yes.
Do we need to be concerned about three-pointed jacks at all?
I don't think so.
Three-pointed
What's
jacks.
the three-pointed
Oh
jack?
no, not the seed that's like the caltrop. No. There are the pointy grass seeds, but those are more initial socks.
The bindies that like stick in your skirt and stay there for forever, those are things, but three-pointed jacks.
Thank God.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we call them cat's eyes in New South Wales.
No, that's a different one. That's a grass one. Yeah, it's a kind of fancier seed.
There is plenty of plush grass, but the terrain is both varied. There are some hills, there are some flat plains. We have tried to make our selection of the event location have that in mind, because we have been at places where there's been much more of a trek to places, but Britannia Park's a pretty nice place, but you will get a lot of steps in, so
Yeah.
you know.
Now, should we go through the other questions? We've got
For sure.
3 questions.
So, we've got some questions that we put out in the town hall and some from Instagram. So, the first one that we have is, can I take photos? The answer is not particularly direct, in that, we don't mind if you're going to look at your phone to take photos discreetly, but we really want you to be mindful of the level of immersion that you are creating for other people. If someone spots you with your phone out, and your camera phone out, it gets rid of the fantasy that we're all trying to participate in, and it's kind of a bit so we try and err on, if you're going to take photos, especially if you've got kids, looking at some of these guys, and you particularly want to take photos of them, definitely feel free to sort of take them into a secluded-ish area and take photos of your kids there, or to just, as they're playing, to sort of just give them a hold
Yeah.
and then put your phone away. Because we do have a dedicated photographer, and he's very good at capturing these events, as you would have seen from all the photos that we have of the event. There is a dedicated guy.
Also, not everyone at the event has also given permission for photos online. So
Yes.
please, if you take photos, that's fine. Just if you want to post anything, please ask them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's, so if you're taking photos of your own outfit or something, that's fine.
Yeah. If you're taking photos with your friends as well, maybe if you're let's all get a photo together, maybe just go away from where the main party feel is, and then just go underneath the tree and kind of do that there.
No one wants to see the fancy dwarven device.
Yes.
The next question we got was, why no second breakfast? The short answer to this is, you're a human being. We did have a second breakfast, and people hit a hard wall in terms of they can fit
It
inside the
turns
bodies.
out that humans can't actually do the Hobbit 7 meal.
Yeah, it would be great. We'd
For sure.
Yeah.
But we have so many meals throughout the day. We've got breakfast, we've got lunch and dinner, and then we've got morning tea and afternoon tea.
Because we had our first event, we had a breakfast, a second breakfast, then a morning tea, and it was we had maybe 15 minutes between each meal.
It was not 15 minutes between, there was 15 minutes overlap.
It's
I ended up going home with a full Costco side, industrial size pumpkin pie that I tried to feed to my housemates, and I ended up having to throw away because they couldn't eat it in time for it to go off. So there's lots of food at the event, but we're humans, we can't actually eat that much. Feel free to pace yourselves. If you're I'm actually too full, I don't think I can eat morning tea, that's fine. More for everyone else.
Yeah.
And then we also have those catered meals as well. So we have a hired caterer who looks after your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. So that you will have a very If you're vegan or vegetarian, there will absolutely be something to cater to you for those meal times. Because we have a catered guy who are like, we've got all these folks who have dietary requirements, please cater to them. So that's what their job is. You will definitely be able to eat something if you've got vegan or vegetarian dietary requirements, or gluten-free, dairy-free, etc.
Next one is, what do you wear if it rains? This is a good question. So fundamentally, Hobbit outfits are based on 18th century common folk outfits from Europe. Europe is a rainy place, so there's a lot of inspiration to take. I will generally wear wool. If it rains, I have a wool cloak. Last year I was wearing a wool dressing gown because it covered most of my outfit. You know, because you're looking at British clothing from the 18th century, Britain is famously rainy, so it can be worth looking at historical garments, but also there are photos from the rainy Sundays that we've had at the events. Some people looking miserable in their warm weather gear, and then some people wearing a woolen cloak or a woolen gown or a woolen coat.
Yeah, hats also keep the rain off you, but yeah, there's we say wool because wool is a natural fiber that helps to bead liquid, and then it rolls off the cloak because wool has lanolin in it, which is generally naturally waterproof, but always feel free to also further waterproof your clothes in preparation to come in.
Wool is also thermal, so even if it's wet, it will still keep you warm, which is really important.
Yes.
Cotton, bad, right? Rain, cotton, bad. Do not have cotton as your outer layer unless you have specifically waterproofed it. Cotton on the outside, bad. Do not do it.
Yeah.
Polar fleece is also really good if you cannot stand the itchiness of wool.
Yeah, and it's also a thing where even on the wet days, because it's November, it's usually it doesn't get that cold.
Yeah, we're pretty, even when it's rainy, sometimes it'll still feel a little bit, and that area in particular, it can get humid, so definitely in another reference to the cotton, and linen is also a really great breathable fiber. Obviously we'll go through a lot more of these things at the costume workshop as to what kinds of fabrics you should be purchasing or selecting or looking out for in the op shops and such, so that you can make your outfits. Or even if you are buying something from somewhere, just to make sure on the label that it has the right fiber content, so that you feel much more comfortable, because it can get humid and returning up. And when it's raining as well, as we've said, wool is a really good thing. Making sure your socks are going to be up for the challenge as well. So woolen socks, cotton socks generally tend to be a little bit.
I mean, even if you had an oil skin, which no one has bought one, but it's in the era.
Yeah.
So if you have an oil skin,
For sure. Okay, and then our next one is, I don't know how to answer this, to be honest.
Is pipe weed allowed? So, in terms of that, essentially, because I have a pipe that I use to basically smoke oregano and catnip in it, which are both herbs you can get that are not unhealthy. Smoke inhalation is not good for you. But if you're outdoors, it's I know Murnong has a pipe that do you smoke tobacco out of it?
Not tobacco, similarly with the oregano or
Yeah.
mixed Italian herbs.
Yeah, so
Not that we're banning tobacco. If you are a smoker and you like tobacco, or if you just like to smoke a tobacco thing every once in a while, tobacco is not banned. It's not a banned illicit substance. You can smoke pipe with herbs.
yeah, because some people are I'm just doing it for the look, and it's if you're going to smoke outdoors. Obviously, again, we have children around, and we have Catherine's pregnant at the moment. Probably won't be by the event.
No.
So obviously, you want to be mindful of that, of who is around, if there is secondhand smoke, where is the wind direction going, etc., etc.
But it is a fun little social activity to do if you've got other people who are quite focused. So
Yeah.
Feel free to get in a little circle and pull the leg on a log and whistle.
Yeah.
What kinds of vegetables are permitted on a social? This is my And the thing is, you can. If you can make an extremely extraordinarily big vegetable, I'm sure there'll be a very jealous comment. So, yes, not having equivalent vegan versions of all the different foods and either having to bring our own hummus out. That's something that someone is nervous about in particular. So, we have caterers, as I've said. This person is asking about if there's any vegan versions. Obviously, a lot of people who are vegan or vegetarian or even lactose or gluten-free, they will have the experience where they feel like they have to bring their own things to supplement what might be happening in terms of food and providing food. We do have those caterers, so you're not going to go hungry. If you really feel like no one's going to cater for the cases and you would like something more than you eat, then feel free to bring things to share with other folks if you would like to.
Yeah, I'm gluten dairy intolerant, so some of the stuff I make more than vegan is some of the Orby. I use a lot of egg because egg is a great replacement for gluten in a lot of baked goods. So that means that I might make something that I can eat, but it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be something that's vegan. So it does mean that for myself in showcases there may not be things that you can eat. We will try to provide options for, supplementary options for the showcases that they're not judgeable, but we'll try to provide that, but it's for the showcases you may not be able to have that.
Yes. Oh my God, Marcus again. Can't be.
I think the resident rule is Marcus.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds fine, but just make sure we both vegan and gluten-free together.
So usually if we're catering for one, I'm catering for all of it, because I'm like, if I'm looking for gluten-free food that doesn't have dairy in it, usually if I'm looking for gluten-free and vegan, it's when I make stuff, I make it with egg. So
It's more just for the...
Yes, so-
For the showcases, it might not be, because it's what
yeah. So in terms of like the stuff that we will try to provide, it'll usually be both gluten-free and vegan, because that's the easiest way to do it.
So another question that we got was, what kind of food can we submit to food showcases? Anyone want to take that?
Pretty much, if you made it, you can submit it to the food showcase.
Is it better?
Yeah. Yeah, don't try to get it. But it's like we had someone last year submitted like a Filipino dish of like, it was a roasted banana thing in banana leaves. That was awesome. We've had people do like meat slice before. We've had people do like very traditional Hobbity dishes as well. But it's like, generally it's sort of, for the food showcase, it's like, it's nice if you try to dress it up sort of Hobbit-like, but the main thing is like, it's about people sharing stuff that they've made, and that's the difference.
And so particularly if it can be in lots of little small portions, as opposed to a big chunk of something that people need to cut things off, it can already be into little small portions.
Like I said, like there's 130 people, so A, think about how you portion it, and B, think about your preparation, because if it's something that requires you to be working on it for 2-3 hours before you put it out, you lose that time in the game. So try to make it easy to just put on a plate and go.
And just to follow up with your how many portions, you do not need to cater for 135 people. If you're making a plate of slice, just cut them into bite-sized pieces.
Yeah. Cut them into 20 pieces rather than 4 pieces.
Yeah, because there's going to be so many other things as well. People are going to be putting like basically together a taster plate of the thing that we've made. So having this little small portion, because again, we'll have other meals on either side of that showcase as well. So having little taster portions for everyone to sample and get a good sample of your thing that you've made is ideal.
The judges go through first.
That's
So
right.
the judges can go and try everything to make a judgment, and then everyone else just goes through after. So
Yeah.
The tendency is that it's very easy to make lots of sweet things in small portions, but by the end of the day, we all tend to be completely sugar crashing. So if you haven't decided on something awesome, try something savory, because all people will be like, oh yay, not sugar.
Now, are there any more?
Yeah, so someone also asked where I suggest getting notebooks and cube paper. So we do provide some of these materials at the post house. We do source all of our stuff online in bulk. but there are places that you can get sort of parchment-looking paper, such as Officeworks. They do sell parchment paper. There's a cute little specifically it's called the Paper Joint on Sydney Road, just a little bit further down towards Brunswick Way. And there's also another paper shop that's, I think, in Fitzroy. And it's a bespoke sort of one that also has, it stocks one of our own products, Annalise. It has her products there as well, because she does lovely arts and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's all for the questions that we have. Does anyone have any other questions for us before we go into next?
The craft stuff, that's made beforehand, not at the event.
So I think some people have submitted crafts they made at the event for the craft showcase, but usually it'll be stuff that's been made just because it takes ages. I think we had a ukulele that you made.
Yes,
You did make that. Unless you did, in which case.
No,
Incredible.
We had one Hobbit did a painting at the event.
Yeah.
Yes.
So some people, like, we had lace and crochet that had been done. I know Mary did have crochet, like, doily at one event, just at the event, but some people, like, usually it's stuff that was made beforehand. Any other?
My daughter wants to know if there's fires and marshmallows.
So fires, no.
We are in peak fire season at that time.
Yeah.
And in particular, we should let you know that at any point, if there's a major fire danger, we will have to cancel that event. All of our tickets will still be on it, but just at a later point in time, because in the event of a fire, that particular place, there is one way in and one way out. And if that becomes a fire issue, it's a tunnel of fire.
Yeah, so it's like if it's in case of catastrophic fire danger, it's closed, and in extreme fire danger, it may be closed, depending on the situation.
Yeah, so no fires, please don't light them, please don't bring them. The only real fire that you should really have is if you're lighting a pipe.
Yeah.
This was maybe for my benefit and maybe you don't have the answer. Has the campground been scoped for ant nests?
Oh, there are lots, yes.
Also,
Yeah, so we've got
to relax on the grass.
there are jumping jacks, there are the giant brown bull ants, there are giant red bull ants, there are sugar ants, there's green ants. I love ants.
I can see it.
Do you have a bee allergy? Is that why you're asking?
I am allergic to ants, specifically jumping jack ants, but I do carry my medication and anti-ants with me.
Yeah, you'll definitely want to bring your allergy medication because yes, there are it's rife with stinging ants.
Oh, to that end, I am one of the first aid officers as well, so if there is something that happens, please either find me or find one of the organisation, including a family head or another different director who may get a hold of me or get a hold of Marcus, who's not here today. But those are our two event first aid officers on site or on weekends.
Oh, the radios, yes, yeah, we'll have radios that we can use to radio one another, or sometimes it'll be a Hobbit who has the radio,
So that they can contact you.
yeah. Any other questions?
Can kids come to the dance workshop pre-event?
Yeah, absolutely. Kids are ticket holders, so kids can come to all the workshops.
I think last year we had specifically a little kid dance before the actual big old dance, so that parents or carers could play with their kids, as well as have them dancing mostly with other kids, so that they could have a lower sensory sort of experience with each other.
Also helps tucker them out. So.
Yeah. So the parents can just sort of rage on, but we do try and cater to the kids as well as much as we can, and also involve them with what's going on with the other adults because they're just boys, so they're just other hobbits. So yeah, just treat them as such.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yes.
Got a question, a request. Please reach out to your house heads for literally anything. I was house head last year. I had no questions.
Yeah,
I signed up to answer questions.
Yeah. I think we family group especially is like we gotta get some heroes in there because
Please don't feel you're bothering anyone in your house.
Yeah, please bother us.
Yeah,
bother us.
there needs to be bothered.
Why did you get outside first?
Yes, because if and then we're like, oh, no one's looking at the stuff we made.
It's also just fun to answer deranged questions, to be honest.
All right.